There may be a lot of tears in this video. I'm gonna try not to cry while talking about this, but just know the past couple months of my life have not been ideal. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, All Things Sam. If you're new here, welcome. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. After you watch this video, please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to comment down below what you'd like to see from me next week. So in this video, I've decided to make this kind of a series, and I don't really know where I'm gonna go with it, but it's gonna be called Tea Time with Sam. This is my cup of tea. It's an English breakfast tea with oat milk. And I'm just going to sit here and talk as best I can about my experiences with different things. Some of them are going to be a little bit more uncomfortable than others. I don't think this one should be an uncomfortable topic. It's birth control. And I think as a society, we should talk more about it. So I would like to take part in adding to that conversation with my own personal story, what that has kind of looked like for me, and just kind of go from there. So if you want to know more about my birth control experience and my story with first the Nexplanon and now my current IUD, stay tuned for some tea time with Sam. So in order to do this video, we kind of have to go back in time a little bit and give you guys some context. So back in November of 2020, I already had my first blood clot and I was hospitalized with some ovarian cysts. They were large cysts, basically filled with blood as a result of the blood thinner that I was on, which was also making me very sick, nauseous, puking, the whole works. So I was put on my current blood thinner, which is a shot, and I was told I needed to see an OBGYN ASAP for birth control options to control the cysts. Now, I do have a blood disorder, so it makes my birth control options a little bit limited, and I've kind of tried to stay clear of birth control out of sheer fear of it. I was on it when I was younger, and I won't say how old and I won't say when, but that was before my clot, and I didn't like how it made me feel. I didn't like the risks that are associated with birth control. I'm just not a big fan. So them telling me you have to go, you have to see an OBGYN, you have to be put on birth control. I was also had experienced very, very unfortunate and horrible encounters with 3 other OBGYNs before I found mine, which I love mine. He's a guy, he's amazing. I trust him with my life. He's just fantastic. He's out of San Diego. So I was just all around not super down for what they were telling me I had to do. But I had to do it because the fear was one of these cysts was gonna burst and I was going to bleed internally, or there was gonna be some, like the twisting of the ovaries. I don't know the medical term of it. I've heard it before. And it would cut off blood supply to my ovaries and I'd have to have emergency surgery. So lots of risks with this. I was not happy. So yeah, take a big gulp of tea for this one. So in December of 2020, I met with my OBGYN for the first time. I absolutely loved him. I felt comfortable from the start. I felt like he sat and listened to all of my questions and my concerns. He talked me through everything that I had been through up until that point and what kind of my options were, what he thought was best for me. We decided on the Nexplanon, which was not my first form of birth control that I wanted to explore. I had heard too many bad stories about it. I had heard too many personal experiences from my friends and family about the Nexplanon. I just was not happy about it. So I left that appointment and I made an appointment to get my Nexplanon inserted into my arm. I think I cried for 2 or 3 hours after that appointment. I actually had lunch with my friend Keon after that, and I was just not doing super well. He cheered me up like a lot seeing him and stuff, but it was just not a good time to be me. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I was not looking forward to it. So that was kind of leading up to the procedure for my Nexplanon. So January rolled around and my appointment was January 14th in specific. So I'm going to insert some pictures and videos here. I know I have some, I don't know how many, but this is me before the procedure and then kind of the aftermath after the procedure, what my arm looked like and all that. So leading up to the procedure, I was very emotional. I drove there and I cried, and I got it in, and I was in pain in my arm, and the actual procedure itself was flawless. It was very easy. I didn't have any pain. They numbed my arm. But the aftermath of it was just detrimental to me. I was in a lot of pain in my arm. I had a lot of bruising on my arm because I am on blood thinners. And my best friend, Keon, bought me lunch after because I was just not having a great day. This was also the time of the year when I was moving into my new apartment for the spring semester for college, and I had to have people help me, and I was just not having a great time because I was living on my own and I was not near my doctors at all. So we were just kind of hoping that everything was going to be fine, and hoping that everything would work. Fast forward, I lasted with the Nexplanon in my arm for 11 days before I finally called the office for my doctor and scheduled a removal appointment. I was confident that I wanted it removed. Some of my symptoms included heavy nausea, vomiting, just horrible migraines, being super irritable, not being able to really do much, also being very lethargic because I'm not able to do things because I'm feeling so weak, and I'm not really consuming food, and any food I was consuming I was throwing up. So I was at this point still creating content and still doing my thing as I do, but behind the scenes it was a really rough time, especially for those who know me and those who kind of know what I was going through. It wasn't a great time to be me. So removal day of my Nexplanon was exactly 14 days, 2 weeks after the insertion of the Nexplanon. And at this point, I just, wanted it out. I drove to my doctor's office after driving home the previous night. And I was just kind of thinking to myself, I'm like, you did everything you could. And at that point, you're kind of like disappointed in yourself and disappointed in your body because we wanted this to work so bad. It was supposed to be the best method for ovulation suppression to prevent those ovarian cysts that I had back in November of 2020. And so I was just kind of like beating myself up, and I'm like, this is the right decision, this is the right decision, but you could have done better, but this was the right decision. So it was definitely a time in my life when I was feeling down about, birth control overall. I didn't really trust it. I mean, I had been scared before. I was even more scared after. It had affected my life so much. I had just begun the spring semester, and I was so unhappy and so uncomfortable with everything. But I got it removed, and I'm going to show you guys some pictures and videos here that I have. Again, I know I have some. I don't know how many I have. Just a warning, these are a little bit more graphic pictures. I do remember that. So here they are. So yeah, at this point in time, I had that removed. A couple weeks later, I started to feel like myself again. I felt normal. That only lasted for a little while because I got extremely sick after that. And that is what led us to discover that I am severely gluten intolerant. So we're gonna get into now why I chose the Mirena IUD, which is the current form of birth control that I am on. It's the IUD that I have placed inside of my uterus right now. I got it last month, and so we're gonna kind of talk about that a little bit. So after time and time again of my doctor kind of circling back to the fact that he wanted me to be on some form of birth control to suppress my ovulation, I was also balancing the fact that I was being diagnosed with being gluten intolerant and feeling very sick and lethargic from that, but also having severe endometriosis symptoms. And so endometriosis is one of those tricky things. It kind of puts you in a lot of pain. It kept me in bed a lot of days. I was just having these horrible episodes. I'd be in the middle of the day and I just have to stop everything I was doing. I can't really take ibuprofen because of my blood thinners that I'm on, so I was just having to deal with the pain with like baths and heating pads, and I was just having a horrible time. And so I had an MRI. Like I said, it's a tricky thing to see. You can't really see it on an MRI. You can't really see it sometimes on ultrasounds. Mine did not show on the MRI that I had, and so my doctor actually recommended the Mirena IUD as a way to help, not completely 100% help, but help with the suppression of ovulation, as well as treat my endometriosis symptoms with hopes of kind of relieving a lot of my pain that I was going through. So that is the method that I decided after weeks of research. I finally made my appointment and decided, like, you know what, let's give it a try. I feel comfortable and I feel like I'm in the position that I am ready to explore birth control again. Let's take a big sip of tea for this one. So procedure day rolled around. It was June 22nd. I had my boyfriend go with me and be there to support me. My OBGYN was straight up with me and he told me this is going to be very painful. Like I said previously, I can't really take ibuprofen, so I was just going in with what I had, which wasn't anything, nothing, no pain meds at all. The procedure itself was painful, yes, but it wasn't the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And then after the fact that it was over, for about 5 or 10 minutes, I was okay. I walked out of there fine. I was like, we did it, I got it. Then I got in the car and I felt like I was going to die. I made my boyfriend stop and get me some pain meds, and that was probably the worst 2 hours of my entire life, was being in that much pain without, you know, taking ibuprofen ahead of time, and then also trying to not throw up on the way back, which I ended up doing a couple times. I think I threw up 6 times. So it wasn't the most ideal situation. Would I do it over again? Yes, I would. As far as now, I'm currently having a painful but pretty normal period on the Mirena IUD. I think the only difference is that my emotions are super high. I think it's just my body getting used to these new hormones in my body. But so far so good. I think it's been helping and I've felt pretty normal. I'll have slight cramping and some pain on days before when I started my period, but overall, I would still confidently do it again. And I think that this is a great option for me right now. And I think that if you're going through similar things, the best you can do is research your options, speak with a medical healthcare provider, speak with your OBGYN and your doctor, and kind of figure out what is the best method for you. And I think also ultimately don't be afraid to try multiple options, because unfortunately sometimes it's whatever works best for your body, and that kind of takes some trial and error. And I think my story is a pretty good example of that. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary of my birth control story. Again, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below to my channel, All Things Sam. If you'd like to see more videos like this, or if you have any suggestions at all for what you'd like to see on my channel in the weeks to come, please comment down below, and I will see you guys next time.